Okay, here is step 2 for your volume work for this week. And notice that there are only 2 steps, step 1 and step 2. And then you just fill out your checkout form. So that's it for the rest of the school year. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Dreambox should be done with your check-in form, and you should have already done step 1, the learn it part. So if you're watching this video, that means you already did the learn it. I suggested that you do the video and the reference sheet along with watching Miss Hartman's video, and then put your smiley face over that. So there are many choices, and I may have gone in and deleted a few of your choices at this point. I don't know yet. But the one I'm going to focus on is the cake, because who doesn't like cake, right? I looked at the energy volume task, and that looked like it was a working backwards type of thing. It looked kind of difficult. I would not suggest doing that. And the bird feeder was, while it was kind of fun, it also looked very challenging. The Google form is okay, but there are some twists and turns at the end, some challenging problems at the end. And the that quiz has things that are in terms of pi, so I wouldn't do that. So I'm really going to focus on the cake and the Google form in this video. But you only have to choose one. So just do the cake one. I like it a lot. So on the slide with the cake, there's a video that Ms. Hartman goes through just the general directions, but she doesn't really show you how to find the volume of each one. But what you're going to do is you're going to look at the cake designs A, B, and C, and find out which one has the greatest volume, which one has the most cake. So you're going to find the total volume, the composite volume of all 3 designs, and whichever one has the biggest answer, that's going to have the most cake. So here are the 3 cake designs. You might want to just kind of look at them first and think, which one do you like? Which shape do you like the best? Like, what would you order? And which one do you think would hold the most? I think personally, I like the look of the 3rd design, but I'm just going to guess that maybe, and I have no idea, I haven't calculated these yet, but I'm thinking maybe design B is going to hold the most. Just my guess. So how do you find the volume of the total design for design A? Use your reference sheet. We have a cylinder and a rectangular prism. So to find the volume of the cylinder first. So our formula is the area of the base times the height. And the area of the base is the circle, which is pi r squared. And then we times that by the height. So then we go through, well, pi we're going to use 3.14 times the radius is 5 squared, times the height, which is 6. So then we would get our calculator and we would multiply all that together. So go ahead and do that. So I just totaled that up, and that was 471, and that's inches cubed for the top piece. Okay, so this is 471 in here. And now we do the bottom piece. Now the bottom piece, that is called a rectangular prism. And the formula for that, again, it's the area of the base times the height. And the base is a rectangle, so it's length times width times height. So we just multiply all of these numbers together. The length, the width, and the height. And the height right there. Okay, so that's going to be, we're going to do 7 times, well, we can do these in any order, but technically it's 14 times 12 times 7. So multiply all that together, and it's 1,176, and that's inches cubed. Okay, so in here it's 1176. So now we just add these 2 amounts together to get the total for design A. So I'm going to add those together, and the total is 1646. 3.47 inches cubed. Seems like a lot of cake. Okay, so that's design A, a cylinder on top of a rectangular prism. Okay, so design B. So we first have, we have two rectangular prisms. So they're both going to be the same shape. So they're both rectangular prisms. So remember, it's the area of the base times the height, and the area of this base is a rectangle. So it's length times width times height. Okay, so looking at the top, we have length of 8 times a width of 8 times a height of 6. So 8 times 8 times 6. So our top piece totals 384 inches cubed. Okay, so in here, this piece of cake is 384. And then we do the same for the bottom, same formula. Okay, so we have the length times width times height. For the bottom piece, the length is 13 times 10 times 6. So we calculate that, and that is 780 inches cubed for the bottom piece. Okay, so in here is 780, and then we find the total for the design by adding those together. So our total for this design, it's called the composite volume, is 1164 inches cubed. Okay, so that's for design B. So far, design A has the greater volume. And then the last shape, they're both cylinders for both the top and the bottom of the cake design. So we are going to use the same formula twice. To find the volume of a cylinder, remember it's the area of the base times the height. And the base is a circle, which is pi r squared. So we do the area of the base times the height. So let's look at the top. We're going to do 3.14 times the radius squared times 6 squared times the height. So calculate that. And that gives us 339.12 inches cubed. Okay, so that's the top piece, 339.12. All right, then we do the same formula, and we find the volume of the bottom piece. Okay, so I'm going to look at this formula right here. Pi r squared h. Okay, so 3.14 times 8 squared times a height of 5. Okay, so that's a total of 1,004.8 inches cubed. So in my picture, 1004.8. And now to get the composite, the total, we add those together. So total that up, and it gives us 1343.9. It says round to the 10th place, I think, for our total, so inches cubed. And so now we have to decide which one has the greatest composite volume. So I was wrong in my prediction. It's going to be the first one, it looks like. So here are the 3 cake designs again. So it looks like having that cylinder on top of that big rectangular prism was the biggest or the largest volume. So that would be design A. So you're going to go formative and fill in all this information. You're going to have to show your work and everything. So you go back through or use my video if you need the support that way, or reach out to us. So that was the cake, the piece of cake task. So you could put the smiley face over that. If for some reason you weren't interested in that at all, I will show you a few on the Google form. So when you open up the Google form, you'll have a couple of sample problems, shapes that you're finding the volume for. Okay, so remember our overlying idea, it's the area of the base times the height. And at first glance, I see that this is a rectangular prism, so I know that it's going to be length times width times height. Now it says a rectangular box top face has an area of 46 inches. So that's the area of the base, or that's the length times width. So they already did that part for you. And the height is 2.5. So you would do the area of the base times the height for this one. So that's going to give you 160. So you'll have a bunch of sample problems, different shapes. Here's another one that you'll see. Now this is a cylinder. Okay, so cylinder, again, it's the area of the base times the height. Using your reference sheet, it's a circle base, and to find the area of a circle, it's pi r squared. Then to get the volume, we times that by the height. Okay, so now we're going to do V equals, we're going to go 3.14 times the radius squared times the height. So you're going to multiply all that together. So 3.14 times 5 times 5 times 7. So this is going to become 549.5 for this one. So 549.5. And it said to the nearest tenth, so that is the tenths place. Then this is a kind of a trickier one. This is a triangular pyramid. This is on the reference sheet. So again, it's the area of the base times the height. To find the area of a triangle, it's half the base times the height. To find the area of this triangle right here, and then times the height of the shape, like triangle to triangle. Okay, so you can see these can get a little bit tricky here. Okay, so we're going to go half of the base of the triangle. So it looks like I'll use this 5 right here. The base of the triangle and the height of 7. So half times 5 times 7, and then times all that by 24. Okay, so 1/2 times 5 times 7 times 24. So the volume of this one becomes 420 inches cubed. Okay, so I did like the cake design one better. And then the other examples really get even harder than this, so that's why I said just do the cake design one. I thought that was more straightforward and easier to manage that you do through Go Formative. But if you want to power through this one, reach out to me and I'll go through the problems with you. Okay, so again, it was only just one of these activities to show what you know. I rarely strongly recommend the piece of cake one. I showed you a few on the Google Forms. Stay away from these guys. I didn't look at the quizzes. Maybe you'll like that too. And then, once that's done, check out. That's it. There was step 1, step 2, and then check out. So as your final checkout, it's the end of the year, end of the week, and end of the year reflection. Can you believe it, you guys? It's crazy. Okay, so it's, fill in your class period. Did you reach out to us? What learn activity did you do? Did you do the volume reference sheet with the video or the discovery lab? So I suggested the first one. And then which practice activity did you do? I suggest the bird feeder. And then did you submit your slides in Schoology? Don't forget to submit your slides. And then you're not totally done. Go into Infinite Campus and see if anything is missing. If anything is missing, take care of it. And what did you enjoy most this year? Did you like when we did Slope Doctor? Did you like the Stranger Things? Did you maybe like a certain concept? And what did you like least? If you could go back and restart the year, what would you do differently and why? One thing you learned. Oh, those are repeated there. Okay, 3 pieces of advice for students for next year. And what do you think? This is going to be a weird summer. What do you think Miss Hartman's going to do over the summer? What do you think I'm going to do over the summer? And I'm really curious what you're going to do over the summer. Okay, submit this form. And then don't forget to submit your actual math slides. Okay, so then we can check those out. All right, you guys, that's it.